What's up? We're back. Sunday. I'm headed back to the Sea Dogs today. And going with my boy Andre. Shout out to the Russian Jesus. If you met him, you'd understand why that's the nickname. Excellent flow, excellent head of lettuce. Become quite close since I've opened the shop. I see him usually once, sometimes twice a week. Huge Orioles fan, Caps fan, Steelers. So if you have that kind of stuff, feel free to drop it over at the shop at 370 Route 1 in Scarborough. He'd love to take a look at it. I feel bad because I've had a couple great cards come in that he couldn't quite. It's not that he couldn't afford it, but it would have been a dumb idea to spend the money that I wanted to get for it on the item. We have a Ben Roethlisberger downtown. It's $450, and he was like, man, I want it, but a little too rich for my blood. So I always let him take his funny Andre picture with the card because it is quite humorous to see him just like angry face. This could be mine. At least I get to hold it for a moment, take a picture for the gram. And so that's been fun. Let's talk about Andre. I'm talking about Andre because we're going to the Sea Dogs today. While I look for my notes that I just made yesterday for this show that I, of course, can't find as soon as I want to record. I have so much going on in my life. I know that always sounds like an exaggeration, but there's most days I get home at 9:30 or 10 o'clock from working out right after work. So sometimes my apartment is clean. Sometimes it's a total disaster. Mostly it's a total disaster. Oh, it's under YouTube. That's right. I have a lot of lists. It's important to have lists, guys. Is it? No, I thought it was under YouTube. It indeed is not. Let's see. It's not under that. It's not Treasure Games. It's Double Play LLC. It is not there. Where the heck did I put this? Oh, it's probably still in ChatGPT. And once again, my watch is going off. I told you, I have a busy life. It's not a flex. Honestly, I wish it wasn't that busy. That would be fantastic. But you know what? It is. No, I did edit this thing. Sorry, I know this is taking a while. Thanks for hanging with me. I totally did edit this thing. Maybe it'll come up under recents. There we go. Yesterday. What is this under? Oh, I have one gripe with Evernote. I love Evernote, but I will start making a note. It will be in the notebook. It'll tell me at the top that it's in the correct notebook. I will go and reopen Evernote, and it will be moved to this one default notebook that I never open anymore. Evernote, you got to fix this bug. I do all the updates. What gives? What is the deal? What's the deal with softwares that, guys, once you get it right, just let it be. You don't have to send all these updates for things I don't care about. Fix this thing. I'm trying to be organized. I'm trying to be a good corporate citizen using your app that I pay for. Just love Evernote, though. If they become a sponsor, that'd be great. Because they really are great. You can open your notes on your phone and your computer and like another computer. You can go crazy. Crazy for notes. Today, really the opening monologue is, had a great time at the Sea Dogs yesterday. Got to team up with Carter and his dad, Chris, and his mom, Kat. I consider all of them really close friends. We get to do really fun stuff together involving cards. I got to set up a binder and a box of stuff, like hot items. Great stuff. Tim loaded me up with some good cards before I left the shop. And so I did that at Hadlock Field yesterday. Really fun. And I even got my dad to come to the game because there was a little buffet thing. So if you can hook up your parents with some free baseball tickets and free food, it goes a long way. Just trying to make up for all the years he was there for me, and he still is. So the little things like that. And I love going to the ball games with him. We just hang. It's a good time. So that was yesterday. I wasn't in the shop too much, but Tim was here for the whole day. He even stayed late because I didn't update the hours in time. I tried to, but it takes sometimes Apple and Google, they say it's 10 minutes, but sometimes it takes like a whole day for the update to change. Plus, your customers don't always check your Google as much as you would think. Okay, and on top of that, all right, this is another little gripe. Customers, I love you all, but the hours are listed on the door. They're right there. And this is not for my regulars. You guys know the deal. We talk all the time. You get it. Read the newsletter. Love you for that. You know what the deal is. But new people who, by the way, told me that they looked me up on Google and yet complained that I wasn't open yet. I said, you looked me up, right? Yeah. You saw the hours. Oh, they're right there. It's really hard to miss. I can't say you can't miss it because clearly you did, but it's really hard to miss. And I just did update the weekend hours to opening a little earlier, 10:30 a.m. and closing at 4 o'clock because I was open till 5 on Saturday, but me and Tim really need those hours. And usually Tim has the whole day Saturday off, but I've been having so many events on the weekend that he's covering. So we love Tim. He looks out for us. He's part of the fam, part of the shop. He is my general manager. He runs the place when I'm not here. If you have any questions, ask Tim. But at the same time, if you're in here, Tim can also pull the I'm just the manager card, and he doesn't have to do a deal with you. So stop beating up Tim on deals when you know it's not a good deal for us. This one dude, Jordan, I think his name was, Pine Tree Pulls. Jordan, shout out. Good to meet you. I've seen you before, but we kind of chatted a little bit. He had this awesome t-shirt, and on the back it said, I give 30% of comps, or I do 30% of comps. And I said, yes, my guy. You are my guy. Because I do 25 to 30%. 30% for me is high. I got to run a business. Okay, it takes money to run the palace around here. 2,500 square feet is not cheap to cool and heat and electrify. It's not, all right? It's just not. Okay, so if I can give you 25, 30% of the comps, it's cash straight to you and we're done. I did tell this one kid the other day, he just kept asking me, and I said, I don't really want these cards. Except he had this one Anthony Richardson Mint 9. It was some like green Pulsar thing. One of those. Great card. PSA slabbed. And I told him, I'd give you $30 for that because I think I could sell it for 90. And he's like, oh, well. He's like, can't give me more. I go, I'm probably not your buyer. So I think a lot of times customers will get confused, or people just trying to sell to me. Not necessarily. I just call them customers because you're in my store. I'm going to consider you a customer. Treat you with respect. But customers don't realize that, I'm not your buyer. I'm a shop. I'm not going to give you retail. If I give you retail, that means I'm just collecting the item. I'm keeping it. I'm taking it home to my house. For me to make money, I need to buy it below retail so I can make a percentage. And not just enough to make, technically, like if you make $1 profit, it's profit. I need enough profit to justify the time that you and me spent negotiating, the time it's going to take Tim to list the item and or sell it in the shop, the electricity, my bills, all that stuff factors into this item. So if I have to pay 80% of comps, like these guys from Arizona were like, oh, everybody does 80%. And I go, you are high. There is no way everybody does 80%. That's ridiculous. Now, maybe at some shows with a very, very liquid card. And when I say liquid, I mean for some reason somebody brought in like the hottest CJ Stroud I've ever seen. And I know that like tomorrow or by the end of the weekend, I could sell this and make 20%. In those outlier scenarios, few and far between, I will buy your card for higher, but I'm going to be at like 50%. I'll give you like half a retail. You're getting cash and you're having to do like zero work to sell this card. You bring it in and we do an exchange. That's no work. You don't have to list it, market it, make a video about it. So if it's a card that's that easy to sell and I could just post it on my Instagram and somebody will buy it, then we might entertain a different conversation. But please understand, you cannot always be the exception to the rule when you walk in. It's a business. What other businesses do you walk into, like, Nordstrom and be like, I'll give you $50? No. Or bring them a shirt and say, I want $200 for this shirt. They'd be like, get out of here. What are you talking about? This is not how this works. I sell you stuff. So there is this little gray area that I will continue to live in because I do like buying collections and cards and things of that nature. And I'll continue to do deals with you. But please reset your mind to understand that you don't have gold, most likely. Sometimes you have a great card. But in that case, why don't you sell it on eBay? Oh, well, there's fees. Oh, that's called the cost of doing business. There's fees associated with everything. You're telling me you want to live in a world where eBay is just going to not charge any fees to sell on their platform, which, by the way, has definitely the most focused traffic that you want to sell stuff. Yeah, that's never going to happen. So you're not going to put one over on old Dave, the shop owner, or Tim because, you think you have gold. And then you want to take it down the street and complain and say, oh, they only wanted to give me this and that. Let me tell you, these other shops, they're not going to give you 80% of comps. Again, unless you got a really, really great card they could sell tomorrow. Not going to happen. It's not like I'm the only one that's the cheapest on the block. And hey, if I am, I'm cool with that because you don't have to sell it here and I don't have to buy it. So that's my little rant on, like, just reset your mind, okay? And if you can see, this, like, yesterday at the trade day, a kid made me a reasonable offer for the downtown. It was $275 cash, and he wanted to kick in these 2 cards in trade. The problem is he wanted to trade me 2 prospect cards that he claimed were 130 sold. Didn't see it. I couldn't find it. I'm on eBay every day. If I can't find something that you just saw, probably doesn't exist, or it was shill bid. And my thing with no-name prospects, and then one was an auto, yeah, maybe there is the potential worth there, but the downtown Big Ben, it's the Super Bowl downtown. You know who he is. He's going to be Hall of Fame. He already retired. So there's no up and down with that. Like, that's solidified. That's bona fide. He's a suitor. That's bona fide, all right? That card is locked in. Now, I probably would have taken, I think I told the kid, hey, if you were at $375 cash plus the cards, I might do it. So it was a classic example of, like, these teenage kids think, this guy's kind of my age, maybe he'll be cool and I can pretend that this card is comped higher. It's not. The cards you showed me, I have, not the exact player, and I understand that can mean a lot, but I have a lot of those on-card autos, refractors, numbered for like $10 in the shop. That's what they go for. I don't make the rules. That's what they go for raw. Now, if that was a perfect card, I could look at it under the microscope in the back. Maybe I send it to grade. Maybe it gets a 9 or a 10. And maybe I can get $120, $130. But that's 50 days. So look, this episode's like a masterclass in understand the psychology of when customers bring stuff to you into your shop. It's not because they're trying to maliciously put one over on you, for the most part. They just don't understand the basic economics of this game. I always say price to move. I have stuff in like that Mickey Mantle signed baseball I had in here for like hours. Tim priced it, and within hours of opening the shop, somebody picked it up. They walked. They were like, I want it, but they walked away. An hour later, somebody came in and bought that same baseball because it was $250. It was Mickey Mantle on an American League baseball, real legit certed baseball. The autograph didn't have the COA, but at $250, that price was so good that somebody walked into a retail store and bought the ball. So that's what I mean, price to move. If I'm putting stuff out here at a price It's because I've heard people say, "Oh, that's a good price." People have said, "Oh, that's you guys have good prices. It's reasonable," and the stuff sells. So clearly, I know what I'm doing, because my stuff is selling. If you bring me stuff and you say, "Oh, well, I wouldn't take less than 500," and I could agree. I think you're right. I think the value's there, but that's the retail price. So if we both agree it's 500 at the maximum, I gotta get that piece for $250, and that's not including time, fees on eBay, all the costs that involved in selling that. You want retail, and you don't want to pay any fees. You can't have. There's no free lunch. This is America, baby. That's not how it works. Pretty good rant, I think, for today. Starting to get used to this. This is kind of fun, especially when I got my 20-minute mark and I can look over at my Roadcaster and see that I'm at 16. Couple of headlines I was looking at. I'm always following up with like Jeff Wilson and the heavy hitters. Ken Golden and Burbank, I think, was doing a show. That was cool. I really want to get to Burbank. And I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get into sports cards when I was living in Orange County, because I could have gone to Burbank a bunch. And actually, shout out to my boy Andy Lunt, who put me on to Burbank. He said he went there because he lives in LA now. We're both from Portland. We used to go to Don's together. Shout out to Don's. We used to go to Don's in Deering all the time. And he was like, "Yo, you're out here. You got to go to Burbank. You got to go check this out." So now that I'm back in Maine, I got to make a trip. I got to do my pilgrimage to Burbank, and I saw they're opening a new space, and I'm guessing that Rob, the owner, owns the building. I'm not going to pry. It's his personal business, his business, right? But I'll tell you that owning the building, and I think I said this yesterday, is key, okay? You got to own your property. I don't know how you could survive in this game leasing. You got to be, well, I think the way you do it is you have to have a direct account. And I feel like I'm inches away from getting there. 7 months in the game, got some good juju going with Tops, right? I think we're close. We'll see. We'll see. I'm doing my due diligence, doing my paperwork. That would be the only way I could see that you would really make it and be profitable as a card shop. Cards only. Because I do more than that. Memorabilia, books, paper, records. I have baseball bats, signed stuff, jerseys, and vintage tees. I'm big in that. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, shout out to Burbank for opening a bigger location, more parking. That's awesome. Can't wait to visit. Next time I go to LA, I'll definitely stop into Burbank. Maybe do a little shopping. I don't know. Money's tight. Probably not. The other thing I was seeing is, I know we talked about this bounty, but my guy Darren Ravel with Collect Media, let's see, they've got Babe Ruth called shot jersey, sells for $24.12 million. No way. That was like hours ago. So the most expensive piece of sports memorabilia ever sold, the Babe Ruth called shot jersey. So the one where he's pointing seemingly to the outfield saying he's going to hit a home run. $24 million. Darren Ravel, I met through working with BevNet. Shout out to my boy Fern. Chris Fernari for always hiring me to do content with BevNet. And Darren is an investor in various things, in beverages and companies. And he's got Collect Media, so I'm hoping to link up with him to do some stuff. Darren, when you come up to Maine, obviously, please come in the shop. You're always welcome. We got to sit down, record some stuff for you, for me. We got lots of stuff to talk about. The man, I think, has the biggest ticket stub collection in the entire world. Definitely in the U.S., I would say, but probably in the whole world. He is a savage. And he also is I've seen him participate one time at least in the beer mile with Athletic Brewing. That was, he did no reversal of fortune. He did not puke at the end of the race. He held it in. It's beer mile is where you got to run 4 laps and chug 4 beers. So you chug a beer, you dump over your head like there's nothing left, you run a lap. When you're done with that lap, you chug a beer. 4 beers, 4 laps. Ken Rideout just dominated the celebrity pool. That guy's a savage too. But I'm getting off topic. Wow. 24.12 milli. Look at that. Look at this. That is wild. 24.12 million Babe Ruth called shot jersey. Breaking here on the show. That's wow. So go check out Collect Media if you want to learn more, but wow, I wish I had sold the jersey for 24 mil. I might be on a beach not doing this show. Well, we've about hit the 20-minute mark. I guess I was going to do a daily dig into some cool items, but really, that covered it. The Babe Ruth called shot jersey, 24.12 milli. Unreal. Shout out to Dunks, always keeping me caffeinated. Shout out to Tim for always holding it down here at the shop when I'm not here. Like today when I go to the Sea Dogs with Andre. And yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. I got to get my podcast relinked, so the true OGs of this show will be watching on YouTube because that's the only place it's going to be for a few episodes. I know this sounds like a humble brag or a complaint or whatever. I really have way too many things on my to-do list. It's kind of overwhelming, but I'm doing myself a disservice by not making more videos, and so that's why I'm here making more videos. Yeah. So somebody took home the Babe Ruth called shot jersey, 24.12 million. That's insane. I can't get over that. I caught that on Darren's Instagram right as we were finishing this episode. All right. See you tomorrow. Peace.